This story is titled, It's Just a Family Dinner, Get Over It, my mom said. That's when I realized I was nothing to them, so I blocked her number. But 2 weeks later, they changed tactics. Hey everyone! Before we jump into today's video, I need your help. We've noticed the channel is losing some traction, and subscribing is one of the best ways you can support us. It's quick, free, and it helps us keep bringing you awesome content. Your support means the world. Let's keep this channel growing together. Thanks so much. Now let's start the video. All right, Reddit. This is some prime family bullshit that would make Jerry Springer say, "Damn, that's messed up." I'm Alex, 32 male, stuck in classic middle child hell between my older brother Logan, 35 male, the golden child lawyer who can do no wrong, and my little sister Madison, 29 female, the eternal baby princess. To put it simply, Logan could commit tax fraud, and my parents would call it financial innovation. Madison still gets treated like she's 5 years old despite having 2 kids of her own. Meanwhile, I'm just there, existing in their massive shadows. My parents have never been subtle about playing favorites. Their retirement plan is literally, Logan will take care of us with his big lawyer money. Every family dinner turns into the Logan show. Logan won this case, and Logan bought a new BMW, and Logan breathed today, and it was magnificent. One time I mentioned getting Teacher of the Year at my school, and my dad literally said, "That's nice. Pass the potatoes." Not even kidding. 4 years ago, I committed the ultimate crime. I married Sophia, 31 female. My parents hate her because she's not refined enough for the prestigious Johnson family, i.e., she laughs too loud, speaks her mind, and didn't go to some fancy-ass college. Oh, and she's a preschool teacher, which according to my mom is glorified babysitting. The irony that she says this while expecting Sophia to babysit my sister's demon spawn every other weekend is apparently lost on her. We're known the education couple in a family that only respects careers with six-figure salaries. At Christmas 2 years ago, my dad actually asked Sophia when she was planning to get a real job, because surely playing with children all day can't be fulfilling. She almost stabbed him with a fork, and honestly, I wouldn't have stopped her. But here's the thing. For years, I've been killing myself trying to earn their approval. I go to every family function. I listen to hours of Logan worship. I convince Sophia to watch Madison's kids whenever she asks, because it's the least we can do for family. My parents' words, not mine. I've tried so hard to be the good son they want, but it's never enough. They have no idea that I work my ass off with side hustles. I do online tutoring until midnight most days, curriculum development on weekends, educational consulting gigs, summer school every year, all so I can save up for something big that might finally make them proud. They think I'm just scraping by on my teacher salary. My dad once had the balls to say I should get a side gig to contribute more to the family, while I was literally taking a break from my third job of the day. And Sophia? They use her like a free nanny service. My sister Madison will literally text, "Watching the twins tomorrow 8 a.m. thanks." Not a question, not a request, just an assumption. But when Sophia had the flu last winter and I asked if anyone could drop off some super meds, dead silence. 5 days later, my mom texted, "Is she still sick?" Super helpful. My mom has this insane way of dismissing everything we do. Last month, I mentioned how one of my struggling students finally had a breakthrough and was now reading at grade level. Her response? "That's sweet, honey, but have you seen Logan's new article in the Law Journal?" She didn't even wait for an answer before shoving her phone in my face with Logan's stupid article pulled up. But I've been telling myself for years that they'll eventually come around. That one day, they'll see how hard we work, how much we try to contribute, how much we care. I kept making excuses for them. They're from a different generation. They show love differently. Family is complicated. All that BS we tell ourselves when we don't want to admit our family sucks. Then came the family gathering that changed everything, and I realized I wasn't imagining a damn thing. Let me give you some context here. These monthly family dinners have been happening since I was a kid. First Sunday of every month, whole extended family comes over. It's like a Johnson tradition. My parents' house becomes a showcase for everyone's success. New promotions, vacations, purchases, all get announced and celebrated. Except mine, of course. I once mentioned a raise, and my uncle asked if that meant I could finally afford a new car. I was driving a 3-year-old Honda. But last month, I got this text from my mom. "Alex, honey, we're canceling the monthly family dinner tomorrow. Your father and I are just so tired, and money's been tight lately. Maybe next month." Now, I've gotten texts like this before, and they always make me feel like shit, like I'm not important enough to make the effort for. But this time was different because I actually had something huge planned. See, I'd been saving up for years. doing extra tutoring, summer school, writing curriculum on the side, educational consulting, stuff my family doesn't even know about, to buy my parents a new SUV. Their old minivan was basically held together with duct tape and prayers at this point. I'd already put down the deposit, signed the paperwork, and was planning to surprise them at this dinner. One big financial sacrifice to finally prove I was worth something in their eyes. So I text back, "No problem, Mom. Hope you guys get some rest." But then I thought, hey, maybe I'll just drop by anyway. Surprise them with the car keys. Make it an even bigger gesture. Sophia thinks I'm being too generous, but she supports me anyway because she's literally the best person I know. So we drove over there. And what do I see? Cars. Everywhere. Logan's BMW, Madison's Mini Cooper, my uncle's Audi, my aunt's Lexus, my cousin's vehicles, the whole Johnson extended universe, basically. "What the hell?" Sophia says, gripping my arm. I park across the street and just sit there for a minute. Sophia's looking at me with those eyes that say she knows exactly what's happening but is waiting for me to catch up. "Maybe it's something last minute," I suggest weakly. "Alex," Sophia says in that tone that means to stop bullshitting yourself. I get out and walk to the house. Through the windows, I can see everyone. My parents, Logan, Madison, aunts, uncles, cousins, all gathered around this massive spread. They're laughing, passing dishes around, Logan standing to make some toast. It's the regular monthly dinner they claim to cancel. I ring the doorbell. Mom opens it, and her face does this thing where she's trying to look happy to see me, but is actually super annoyed. "Alex, what are you doing here?" She's blocking the doorway like she's a bouncer at a club I'm not cool enough to get into. "Got your text about canceling dinner," I say, feeling something hard forming in my chest. "Looks like you guys figured it out anyway." She doesn't even try to hide her irritation. "Well, yes, but this is different. This is for people who actually contribute to the family." I blinked, stunned by her bluntness. "What?" "Oh, don't act surprised," my mom says with an eye roll. "Logan just made partner at his firm, and Madison's husband got that big promotion. Everyone here has something to celebrate and talk about. You would just sit in silence if we invited you. I mean, what have you done lately? Still just teaching?" My jaw literally drops. "Are you serious right now?" She waves her hand dismissively. "It's nothing personal, Alex. We just wanted a night to celebrate success. It would have been uncomfortable for you." Behind her, Logan raises his glass with that smug little smirk. My dad doesn't even bother to get up. He just looks annoyed at the interruption. I can see my whole extended family. Aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone who's known me my whole life, all happily participating in a dinner I wasn't good enough to be invited to. "We're having a celebration for successful people," my mother continues. "Maybe when you get a real job or do something worth celebrating, you can join us." Sophia steps forward. "How dare you?" I put my arm out to stop her. "It's not worth it," I say quietly. I felt a strange calm come over me. This is it. The confirmation of what I've always known but tried to deny. "You know what's funny, Mom?" I say with a small smirk. "I was actually coming over to surprise you with a very nice gift. I've been saving for 3 years to buy it for you. It's sitting at the dealership right now, paid in full, but you differently don't deserve it." Her eyes widened in shock. "What is it?" "Alex, wait. Goodbye, Mom. Enjoy your celebration." I turned and walked away with Sophia, as my mother called after me. I don't look back, even as I hear her calling my name. The door closes with a final sounding click. "Did that just happen?" Sophia whispers. "Yeah," I say, feeling weirdly calm. But you know what? It's the last time it's ever going to happen. We get back in the car, and I'm just sitting there, hands gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles are white. Sophia's crying next to me, not because she's sad, but because she's so mad. That's my wife. She doesn't cry when she's hurt. She cries when she's pissed. "I'm so sorry," I say. "Don't you dare apologize for them," she snaps. "They're horrible people. At least now we can use that SUV money for something better," I say, trying to find a silver lining. Sophia shakes her head. "I still can't believe you told them about the car like that." The look on your mom's face, though, she actually lets out a small laugh through her tears. "I know you thought buying them a car was too much," I sigh. "You were right all along. Hey," she says, taking my hand. "I supported the decision because I knew how much it meant to you to try one last time. But Alex, they don't deserve you. They never have." "Not anymore," I say, pulling out my phone and dialing the dealership. I'm done trying to buy their love. The salesman sounded confused when I told him I needed to cancel the purchase. "But Mr. Johnson, you were so excited about surprising your parents. The car's all ready to go." "Yeah, well, plans change," I say. "They won't be needing it after all." When I hang up, Sophia's looking at me with this weird mix of pride and concern. Are you okay? Not really, I answered honestly. But I will be. That night, we order takeout, put on a stupid movie, and try to pretend everything's normal. But my phone kept blowing up with texts from my family. Not apologies, mind you, but demands. My mom, Alex, I need you to watch Madison's Kids on Thursday. She has an important event. My dad, your mother says you're being difficult. Stop it immediately. Logan, dude, mom's pissed you showed up last night. You know those dinners are for family contributors only. Madison, can you and Sophia take the kids this weekend? Also, can you bring those educational toys you mentioned last time? I block their numbers, turn my phone off, and toss it on the coffee table. Sophia raises an eyebrow. Not going to respond? Nope, I say, taking a huge bite of pizza. I'm officially on strike from the Johnson family circus. About damn time, she said. For the next 3 weeks, everything was like I'm living in a whole new world. No more scrambling to please people who will never be pleased. No more dreading Sunday dinners where I'm invisible unless someone needs something. But since they couldn't reach out to me, my parents showed up at our apartment twice. We don't answer the door. They leave notes about how disappointingly immature I'm being and how I'm breaking your mother's heart. Like, who broke the heart of whom? I toss them in the trash without a second thought. Then something unexpected happens. One of my educational apps takes off. Like, really takes off. The side project I've been working on for years, an interactive reading program for struggling students, gets featured in some major education publications. Suddenly, I'm getting offers. Big offers. For 3 years, I've been building this program in secret, testing it with my students, refining it on nights and weekends. My family didn't even know about it because they never bothered to ask what I was working on. It was just Alex's little teaching thing. Now a major educational publisher wants to buy it. The number they're offering has more zeros than I've ever seen in my bank account. Sophia screams when I show her the email. We're talking life-changing money, the kind of money my family would actually respect. I'm actually starting to think maybe this clean break might work when my aunt, I'll name her Julie, calls. The cool one who's always been decent to Sophia and me. I answer because Julie's never been part of the toxic mess. Alex, she says, her voice all hushed like she's telling me state secrets. Have you heard about Logan? What about him? I ask my Aunt Julie, trying not to sound too interested. I mean, I'd been doing so well with the whole dead-to-me family situation. He got fired 3 months ago, she says, her voice still that dramatic whisper. I nearly dropped my phone. What? That big Morrison case? He totally botched it. Missed a filing deadline, then tried to cover it up. Cost the firm millions in damages. They canned him immediately. But I'm struggling to process this. He was just at that family dinner, toasting and bragging and being his usual douchey self. It's all an act, Alex. He's been pretending he's on some kind of sabbatical, but he's actually been unemployed this whole time, just scraping by on odd legal consulting jobs. The golden child, the retirement plan, the favored son. Unemployed? Hell yeah, I mean how? How do you know this? I ask. My neighbor's son works at the same firm. Office gossip. Logan swore him to secrecy, but you know how that goes. After I hang up, I sat there for a good 20 minutes just processing. The whole family dynamic was built around Logan's success. My parents invested everything in him, emotionally and practically, because he was their ticket to a comfortable retirement, and he'd been lying to everyone for months. Part of me felt sorry for him. A bigger part felt something like vindication. And honestly, a small, petty part of me was secretly thrilled. I mean, after years of being compared to Logan the amazing lawyer, finding out he's actually Logan the unemployed fraud felt satisfying. Then my phone rings again. It's Logan himself. Speak of the devil. Hey, he says, sounding nothing like the smug asshole from the family dinner. Can we meet for coffee or something? Why? I ask, not even trying to sound friendly. A long pause. I need to talk to someone who isn't mom or dad. We met at this neutral coffee shop halfway between our places. Logan looks like shit. Unshaven, wearing a hoodie instead of his usual designer clothes. If I didn't know better, I'd think he was cosplaying as a regular person. So, I say after we get our drinks, sabbatical going well? He looks up sharply. Who told you? Does it matter? It's true, isn't it? He deflates, stirring his coffee obsessively. I fucked up, Alex. Really fucked up. That Morrison case. I missed a filing deadline, then tried to cover it up. They found out, and our parents think you're still the golden boy lawyer? I couldn't tell them, he almost shouts, then lowers his voice. You know how they are. Their whole world revolves around my success. Their retirement plans, their status with their friends. Must be tough being the favorite, I say. not even trying to hide the bitterness. He actually laughs. You think being the favorite is easy? The pressure? The expectations? At least nobody expects anything from you. You can just be a teacher and everyone's fine with it. I stared at him. Are you serious right now? Nobody's fine with me being a teacher. Mom introduces me as Alex, who's still figuring things out. Dad asked me last Christmas when I was going to get a real job. They excluded me and my wife from a family dinner because we're not impressive enough. Logan at least has the decency to look ashamed. I didn't know they did that. Of course you didn't. You were too busy raising your glass to me through the window. He winces. Look, I'm sorry, okay? I've been a dick, but I'm drowning here. I've got student loans, credit card debt, and now no income. I can't keep lying to mom and dad. So don't, I shrug. Tell them the truth. I can't. Not yet. I just need a little more time to find something else. He looks at me with desperate eyes. I heard you might be coming into some money soon. Your education app thing. I froze. How do you know about that? Julie mentioned it. Said you were working on some app that was getting attention. He leans forward. Can you lend me some money? Just to get through the next month or two? I'll pay you back, I swear. And there it is. I start laughing. I can't help it. What's so funny? He demands. The universe, man. It's got a sick sense of humor. I got up to leave. So you won't help me? He calls after me. Nope, I say, popping the pea. I spent years trying to get a scrap of approval from this family, forcing my wife to babysit Madison's kids, working 3 jobs to buy mom and dad an effing car. And the one time I needed to be treated like an actual member of this family, you all slammed the door in my face. So no, I won't be helping. Walking out of that coffee shop, I feel like I'm in some alternate universe. Logan, the perfect son, the successful lawyer, the retirement plan, is secretly a disaster. And now he wants me to bail him out with my new success? The irony, though. When I get home and tell Sophia about the Logan situation, she just sits there with her mouth open for a solid minute. So let me get this straight, she finally says. Golden Boy lost his job 3 months ago, has been lying to everyone, and now wants you to give him money from your app deal? Yep. And you said, I told him to get bent. Well, not in those exact words, but the message was clear. She throws her arms around me. I'm so proud of you. The old Alex would have emptied our savings account to help him. She's right. The old Alex would have bent over backwards to rescue Logan, to earn his parents' approval, to be the good son, even when they treated him like crap. But that Alex is gone. Now I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop. Because if there's one thing I know about my family, it's that they don't take rejection well. 2 days after the coffee with Logan, I get a text from a number I don't recognize. This is your father. Call me immediately. Family emergency. Nice try, but I'm not falling for that. I block the number and go back to grading papers. The next day, another unknown number. Your mother is in the hospital. Call home. I block that one too. Then on Saturday morning at frickin' 6 a.m., my doorbell starts ringing like someone's being murdered. I drag myself out of bed and peer through the peephole. It was my mom, looking absolutely furious. I know you're in there, Alex. Open this door right now. I glance back at Sophia, who's sitting up in bed looking concerned. Should I? I whisper. She shrugs. It's your call. But remember what happened last time you gave them an inch? She's right. I go back to the door. Mom, it's 6 in the morning. Go home. Not until you talk to me face to face like an adult instead of hiding behind blocked phone numbers. I took a deep breath and opened the door, but I didn't invite her in. What do you want? She looks shocked that I actually opened up. Then she quickly rearranges her face into what I call her concerned parent expression, the one she uses when other people are watching. Alex, what is going on with you? First you throw a tantrum about a simple family dinner, telling me you brought a gift for us but didn't give it. Then you cut us off completely? We raised you better than this. Did you? Because from where I'm standing, you raised me to be a doormat. To give and never expect anything in return. To accept being treated like I'm less than Logan or Madison? That is not true, she huffs. We've always treated all our children equally. I actually laugh out loud at this. Mom, you literally told me to my face that I wasn't invited to that dinner because I don't contribute to the family. You slammed the door in my face. She waves her hand dismissively. You're exaggerating. I was just stressed that night. And besides, you do contribute less than Logan and Madison. What about all those times I made Sophia babysit Madison's kids? What about all the family events I attended just to be ignored? What about the SUV I was going to buy you? She pauses. What SUV? The brand new SUV I was going to surprise you with that night. The one I saved for 3 years to buy. The one sitting at the dealership right now. Her face changes. calculation replacing anger. You, you were going to buy us a car? Yes, but now it doesn't matter because I canceled it. She looks stunned. But how could you afford that? You're a teacher. I've been working side jobs for years, Mom. I developed an educational app that just got picked up by a major publisher. I'm about to get a six-figure check, but you'll never see a penny of it. Her eyes widen. 6 figures? For an app question mark. Alex, sweetie, I think there's been a terrible misunderstanding. Why don't you come over for dinner tonight and we can talk about this? Your father will be so proud of your app thing. No. But Alex, listen, she presses, her voice suddenly dripping with sweetness. You know your father and I have been struggling ever since Logan. Well, since things haven't been the same. We've had to take out a second mortgage just to keep things afloat. And with you doing so well now, surely you can pitch in. It's only fair, isn't it? We're family. I stare at her, the desperation in her eyes making everything crystal clear. This isn't about family. This is about money, about using me to bail them out of their mess. So, let me get this straight, I say slowly. You spent years making me feel like I was worth nothing. Threw me out of your life the second I wasn't convenient for you? And now that Logan can't support you, you want me to step up? Her eyes narrow. Don't be so dramatic. You're the one making this difficult. Families help each other. We've been more than patient with you, but it's time you contribute. I shake my head. Everything I've contributed was never enough, and it never will be. I'm done. I shut the door in her face, feeling lighter than I ever have before. Through the peephole, I watch her stand there for a moment, mouth open in shock. Then she turns and storms off. Well, Sophia says from behind me. That was something. Yeah, I sigh. But I feel that the real storm is just beginning. And boy, was I right about that. It starts with the extended family. My Aunt Martha leaves these tearful voicemails about how my parents might lose their house because of my selfishness. My Uncle Steve, who I've seen maybe 3 times in the last decade, suddenly texts daily about family loyalty. Even my 80-year-old grandmother gets dragged into this mess, calling to tell me she's disappointed in the man I've become. I block them all, one by one. It's like playing the world's most depressing game of whack-a-mole. But the flying monkeys weren't done. They evolved from guilt-tripping to outright threats. My cousin Rick, who works at the bank where Sophia and I have our mortgage, hints that he could make things difficult for us if I don't step up and help the family. I reported him to the bank manager and moved our accounts the next day. The worst is when they start targeting Sophia directly. My mom apparently decided that if she can't get to me, she'll go after my wife. She tells anyone who will listen that Sophia is the one poisoning me against the family, that she's always been jealous of our close bond, and other such complete bullshit. Some of Sophia's co-workers start giving her weird looks. Parents at her preschool ask invasive questions about our family situation. Someone even calls in an anonymous concern to her director that Sophia seems emotionally unstable lately, and they're worried about the children under her care. Thankfully, her director knows it's garbage and tosses the complaint, but it's still unsettling. The final straw comes when Madison shows up at our apartment with her kids in tow. It's 7:30 on a Sunday morning, and we're woken up by insistent knocking. I peer through the peephole to see my sister and her 2 hellspawn looking like they're dressed for church. I open the door, but block the entrance with my body. Madison puts on her best harried mom expression and says she has an emergency and needs us to watch the kids for just a few hours. Before I can even respond, she's trying to usher her children past me into the apartment, saying over her shoulder that she'll be back by noon. I step fully into the doorway, preventing them from entering. Her kids look confused. Madison looks outraged. No, I say simply. What do you mean, no? She sputters. Sophia always watches them. It's the least you can do for your family. Not anymore, I tell her. I'm done being used by this family. She drops the act immediately. Her face hardens as she says our parents are right. I've changed, and not for the better. Sophia has turned me against my own family. Don't I care that our parents are struggling? That Logan is unemployed? That her husband is working overtime to try to help them, since I won't? Mom told me about your app, she says, her voice dripping with entitlement. You're making all this money now, and you won't even help your own family? That's disgusting, Alex. I almost laughed. So that's what this is. Not an actual childcare emergency, but another attempt to get my newly discovered money. Using her kids as props in this manipulation is a new low, even for Madison. I tell her I'm sorry her children have to witness this, but she needs to leave. Now, she refuses to budge, raising her voice and saying she's not going anywhere until I face my responsibilities. Her kids start getting upset, the younger one crying because mommy is yelling. Sophia appears behind me, still in her pajamas. She takes one look at the situation and pulls out her phone. You have 30 seconds to leave or I'm calling the police and reporting you for harassment, she says, her finger hovering over the dial button. I'm sure that'll look great at your country club. Madison sputters, calls us both horrible names I won't repeat here, but finally grabs her kid's hands and storms off. The younger one is full on sobbing now, and I feel terrible for them. They didn't ask to be born into this mess of a family or to be used as manipulation tools by their mother. After they left, Sophia and I sat on the couch in stunned silence for a while. I can't believe she brought her kids into this, Sophia says. That's a whole new level of messed up. That's the Johnson way, I reply. Use whatever leverage you have, no matter who gets hurt. Later that day, I get a string of furious texts from my parents about how I made my sister's children cry and turned away family in need. The narrative has already been completely twisted. In their version, Madison had a genuine emergency, and I cruelly turned her away because I'm selfish and vindictive. It's at this point that I realize there's no winning with these people. No matter what I do or don't do, they'll find a way to make me the villain in their story. The only way to stop the game is to refuse to play. So that's what I did. I block every new number that pops up. I set all my social media to private. I warn my school's front office not to put through calls from anyone in my family. I start recording all interactions in case I need evidence later. For the first time in my life, I put up real boundaries with my family. Not the flimsy kind that they've always trampled over, but solid, consequences-backed boundaries that I'm prepared to enforce no matter what. And it worked. Gradually, the flying monkeys retreat. The calls and texts slow down. The ambushes stop. Either they've given up or they've moved on to more promising targets. 2 months after everything, I ran into my Uncle Steve at the hardware store. I brace myself for another lecture, but he just looks tired. He told me that Logan is still in Chicago, working some entry-level paralegal job and living in a studio apartment. My parents have had to take out a second mortgage on their house to cover the debts Logan left behind. Madison and her husband had to pull their kids out of private school. He's not saying this to make me feel guilty. I can tell from his tone he's just stating facts. Then he says something that actually surprises me. Maybe they're finally learning they can't always count on being bailed out. I nod, not sure what to say. He wishes me well and walks away. That night, I tell Sophia about the encounter. Do you think they're really struggling? She asks. Probably, I say, but not in the catastrophic way they made it sound. They're just having to live within their means for the first time. And how do you feel about that? She asks, using her preschool teacher voice that always makes me smile. I think about it for a minute. Honestly, I hope it teaches them something. About consequences. About not taking people for granted. About what really matters. Sophia nods. And what about you? What matters to you now? I look at her, my amazing wife who stood by me through all this insanity, and I realize how lucky I am. How much I've gained by letting go of people who never valued me. This, I say simply. Us. Building a life that's ours, not theirs. She smiles and squeezes my hand. Sounds pretty good to me. Everything after that started to settle down, and I got used to not carrying my family issues around. 2 months after cutting off my family, my phone rings with an unknown Chicago number. It's Logan. He's not calling to guilt trip me. He's not asking for money. He sounds different, humbled. He tells me he's been in therapy, that losing everything was actually the wake-up call he needed, that he's been doing a lot of thinking about our family, about how our parents pitted us against each other, about how he benefited from it while I suffered. I'm sorry, he says, for everything. You didn't deserve any of it. I waited for the other shoe to drop, the subtle dig, the request for help, the hidden manipulation. But it didn't come. Logan tells me he's started over. The fancy law career is gone. He's working at a legal aid clinic, making shit money but actually helping people. He's living in a tiny apartment with secondhand furniture. For the first time in his life, he's not trying to impress anyone. Our parents are freaking out. Their golden child has not only fallen from grace, but seems content with his new humble life. Their retirement plan has officially imploded. I heard about your app, he says. From Julie. Congrats, man. That's seriously impressive. Thanks, I reply cautiously. I'm not asking for money, he adds quickly, as if reading my mind. I think I finally understand what you've been dealing with all these years, and I don't know how you put up with it for so long. Before we hung up, he told me something that blew my mind. I always envied you, you know. Me? The family disappointment? You found something you're passionate about, he explains. You married someone you actually love, not someone mom and dad approved of. You built a life that's yours, not theirs. I had the title of favorite son, but you had freedom. As for my parents and Madison, radio silence. No apologetic phone calls, no heartfelt letters, no moments of realization. Just occasional updates from Logan about their latest drama, the house they had to downsize from, the country club membership they had to give up, Madison's husband leaving her after discovering her massive credit card debt. I realized that some people never change, never acknowledge their mistakes, never see beyond their own needs. That closure often doesn't come from them recognizing their wrongdoing, but from me finding peace despite it. Last week, I got a promotion to curriculum coordinator for the entire district. 5 years ago, I would have immediately called my parents, hoping for approval I'd never get. Instead, I celebrated with Sophia, with friends who actually value me. Logan sent a congratulatory text. My parents never even heard about it, and I'm fine with that. Better than fine. I'm thriving. The Johnson family monthly dinner still happens, I hear. They've moved on to glorifying some cousin who started a tech company. But now, when I drive by my parents' house on that first Sunday of the month and see all those cars parked outside, I don't feel that ache of exclusion anymore. I just feel free. And oh, that SUV. I was going to buy them? I used that money to start a college fund for kids from low-income families instead. Every year, the Johnson First Generation Scholarship helps a student become the first in their family to go to college. It's the best revenge I could have imagined, taking the money I once would have wasted trying to buy my family's love and using it to make a real difference instead. Turns out the greatest revenge against people who think you're nothing isn't proving them wrong. It's not needing to prove anything to them at all. TLDR. My toxic family excluded me and my wife from a gathering. I discovered they only valued money and status. I cut them off. And when they came crawling back for money after golden child brother lost his job, I refused. Now I'm happier than ever. And even my brother finally sees our parents for who they really are.